What is good, YouTube? Hopefully, you're all having a good day. I'm joined today for the CW podcast by Ben from the DC TV show and Declan McKinney from DC Central. Thanks, guys, for coming on today. We're going to be talking about The Flash Season 6, episode... Is it 16? Yes, episode 16.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're all good. I'm all good here. How about you, Declan?
Yeah, not too bad. Just enjoying myself during this lockdown period. Very much so.
Mm-hmm. Same as everyone. But yeah, anyway, before we talk about episode 16 of The Flash, I want to talk about a few things in regards to the later half of the season. So we know that the season originally had, was it what, 22? Was it going to be 22 or 23 episodes?
22.
22. Yeah, 22. It was going to be originally 22 episodes, and then it was cut to 20 episodes, and now the season finale is now officially confirmed to be 19 episodes. And it was confirmed, I think it was by the showrunners, or no, by Grant Gustin himself, I think, that there was going to be a big, it was confirmed by Grant Gustin that there was going to be a big Reverse Flash cliffhanger at the end of episode 20. So the first topic that I wanted to discuss today is, what do you think that big Reverse Flash cliffhanger was going to be?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think that perhaps... this is something I've theorised about something that was going to happen in this season anyway, and I think it could lead into next season if this is what it was going to be. Because I imagine that we will still... It's difficult to talk about because we don't know exactly how they're going to handle the back half of this season in regards to what was going to be there. Like, are they just going to abandon it and just end it there, or are they going to start fresh for season 7, or will they have the first couple of episodes of season 7 to wrap up the story? But I think the Reverse Flash thing, I think it could relate to Godspeed. I know everyone loves taking the mick out of Godspeed, but I think that it could be a thing where, obviously, we've had a lot of setup with Godspeed this season from the very beginning, and also we know he's going to be showing up. He was meant to be showing up in episode 20, I believe, or maybe it was 18. I can't remember exactly what episode it was. Godspeed was meant to be showing up this season again, so he still might. If it's 18, we'll be okay. But I think there's a chance that Reverse Flash, obviously, he kind of needs a new vessel to inhabit, as it were. He kind of needs, a new body to kind of inhabit. Now, I think there's a chance that we could see Reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne take up sort of the mantle of August Heart / Godspeed. I think it could be something to do with that.
Interesting.
In regards to Godspeed, he's coming on the May 5th episode. There was a new synopsis put out earlier today, and Godspeed's in that episode. So that's episode 18 he's in.
Cool.
With Reverse Flash, I think you could get to Godspeed and Godspeed's return, like you said, because, he needs a body. Actually, wait. Wasn't Reverse Flash the last time we actually saw him? He ran away at the end of season 5, right? So he's got a body.
Because of the collapse of the multiverse, he was kind of trapped inside, because Nash is the only... But then again, he's not a Wells, is he?
Yeah, he's not a Wells.
In the body of a Wells. Yeah, I get that.
I don't know how... They don't explain it very well with the whole him being Wells thing.
So, I think with him being a Wells, I think he does probably need a body. So, I think your idea of Godspeed, I think that would have been a really cool idea, because they set that up in episode 1. You had those, versions of Godspeed, which we never got an answer to. Maybe we get an answer in episode 18. But then, if it's a Reverse Flash cliffhanger, it could be to do with Godspeed, but I think it's definitely to do with something they're going to set up for next season. So I still think we'll see it, but we'll see it next season rather than in a cliffhanger, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I actually find it funny that you brought this up regarding the new host, new vessel for Reverse Flash, because that was literally going to be the next topic that we're going to discuss. It was going to be, who do you think the new host for Reverse Flash is? And obviously you guys said you think Godspeed, and I didn't actually think about that, but now that you mentioned it, Declan, I think that's actually a possibility. But if that is the case, and does that mean then that Godspeed or Godspeed in the form of Eobard Thawne will be the main villain for next season?
I think there's a chance that could happen, or at least be a villain in the front half of the season. I think that a speedster villain is highly likely for next season, just because we haven't had one in a while, and I can see them going back to it, because I don't think they've had the greatest success not doing speedster villains. I'm not saying obviously it can't be done, but I think I think this season in particular has been a good showcase of that. Like, you know, I think that blood work in the beginning of the season was great, and I'm really enjoying this Black Hole storyline. But are you not enjoying it?
I mean, I'm enjoying the season. I think the season's really good. I don't like any of the villains. Like, Bloodwork was fine for me, and Black Hole is just like, it's like kind of a background thing for me. I don't know. I thought a lot more people were on board, but maybe I'm in the minority.
So you don't...
I've heard a lot of mixed things about Black Hole in regards to how many people... Like, there are a lot of people who really are not enjoying this, like, Mirror Iris story, which I understand. Like, it has gone on longer than I thought it was going to. But at the same time, I'm also really appreciating the fact that Eric Wallace is finally giving Iris something to do and actually giving her a story that feels relevant. Because even though, like, in season 4 she had a role... Obviously, a lot of people weren't a fan of that. I didn't mind it too much, but I thought, you know, a lot of people obviously didn't like it. I think the idea of having Iris having such a good focused storyline, especially with Eva, because I think Eva's a really cool character. I really like her. I'm really intrigued where they're going to go with her. I'm not a fan of this Joseph Carver fella. Don't like him. Just because, especially in this most recent episode, he was so over the top and so cartoonish. I'm not a huge fan of him. But overall, I really quite enjoy this story. So I think going into season 7, I think there's a very high chance they'll do a speedster villain. Whether they do Godspeed or Reverse Flash again, or they do, you know, Red Death. Obviously, they set that up last season. I don't know, but I think there's definitely potential that he could be the villain. It depends on season 7 as well, because I know that a lot of the shows get 7-season contracts, and I'm not saying The Flash is going to end next season. Of course it's not. I really can't see The Flash ending next season. It's CW's biggest show. But yeah, I just feel like there's a chance that something like that could happen with a speedster villain for season 7. It just feels right to me.
I think it's about time we get another speedster villain, because season 4, 5, and 6, we've had no speedster villains. We had Speed Shop once or twice, briefly in episode 1 this season. We haven't had a speedster villain in 3 seasons. We had 3 seasons of speedster villains, and when you look at it, to be honest, I think my ranking of villains, like, I prefer the speedster villains than the non-speedster villains. I thought the Thinker was rubbish. I thought he was the worst. I really didn't like season 4. Season 5, Cicada was alright. I think Cicada's better than Bloodwork. I thought Bloodwork was fine. I think Cicada is still better than Black Hole, who I think is just, like, fine. So I think they've had a lot of fine villains. They haven't had any big impact. Like, even though some people don't like Savitar and the way they went with his story, everyone was interested in him.
Yeah, Savitar was like the most popular.
That's indisputable. Everyone was interested in him.
Exactly.
And before that, everyone was interested in Zoom. Like, who is Zoom?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? And everyone was interested and still is interested in Reverse Flash. And that's why every time Reverse Flash comes back, everyone gets excited, because he's a really good villain. So I think maybe, you know, even though some people don't like Savitar, some people think, you know, he didn't work very well, I think going back to a speedster villain is a good idea, because you've had these villains that are kind of, yes, some people like them, like you, Declan. People like them, but no one, like, fully loves them as much as, say, the first 3 season villains. So I'd say going back to a speedster villain is, like, a smart idea.
Yeah, I think with the villains that we've had, I mean, the non-speedster villains, Thinker I thought was good initially, and then I liked him in, like, the early part of the season, and then as soon as they introduced the body hopping thing, then it lost me. I was like, this is stupid now, because I liked Neil Sandylans a lot, who played him. I was like, and I really liked the idea of just this character who, he wasn't really, like, that powerful. He wasn't like a metahuman, really. He was just kind of this guy who was super intelligent. I really liked that idea. And then they just kind of made him this superpowered metahuman. I was like, okay, I'm bored. Cicada, I hated. I thought he was dreadful. I
thought he was a bit better.
I just thought he was so... The problem with my issue with Cicada wasn't even like the character himself. I mean, initially, the actor who played him was terrible. And also, I don't understand why his voice was... He had a villain voice 24/7, so like even if he didn't have the mask or the costume on, he was always like crazy. Like he always just spoke like that anyway, which I found really bizarre. And also, every single time they got close to capturing him or had the opportunity to, he'd just fly away.
Exactly, yeah.
That was
Fly
dumb.
away.
I
I was like,
agree.
that is just it used to infuriate me. Like when I was watching season 5 week to week, I'd be like genuinely pissed off at the end of each episode because I'm like,
Waiting
why
for
can't
the jump.
capture him? But yeah, anyway, I'm getting excited here. But yeah, I'm just excited to see a new speedster villain because I think it has been a while. And like you say, they always have people on the edge of their seat, like Zoom, the identity thing. That's what they need to bring back as well. But if they're going to do a speedster villain,
It's true.
Yeah,
bring back
definitely.
mystery identity because they always. Because again, even what you say about Savitar, yeah, people may not like him, but I think that, as you said, everyone was so
The
excited.
hype, the
Everyone
hype,
looked to
the
win.
hype.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you. Like, speedster villains are the Flash's strong points for me for the show. So yeah, they should definitely go back to a speedster villain. It's long overdue in my opinion. Whether that's Godspeed, Reverse Flash, Red Death, I don't know. But
Red Death.
yeah,
I really, really do want that. I've been looking forward to that for a long time
Yeah.
since they first dropped the teaser in season 5.
I think it might just end up being Red Death because I think it might just end up being Red Death. But in regards to my earlier question, who do you think the new host for Reverse Flash is? What if it's a returning Zoom, like, as in Hunter Zolomon?
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, because remember in season 2 we saw that there was actually an Earth 1 Hunter Zolomon. What if that Earth 1 Hunter Zolomon is now on Earth Prime, and then Reverse Flash goes into him? Who knows? That could be a possibility. Because I find it weird that out of all of the villains, Zoom is the one that's least referenced out of all the main villains that we've had. Because speaking of with Zoom, Teddy says he's only appeared in season 2. He hasn't appeared in literally any other season. I find that
Season 5 in the 100th episode.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I think they used old footage. I don't think he was actually there to.
He did about 4 or 3 new scenes. You remember he was running after Laura and Barry in the Speed
We
Force.
got that amazing scene of Laura's
Yeah.
running.
Oh yeah. Okay. Scrap what I just said then. But yeah, I think it would be cool if it was Hunter Zolomon though, so we can get another
I think
version
that
of
would be
him.
so good.
Yeah.
Like, I would be so down for that.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
still waiting for Hunter Zolomon to return because I don't think that would happen. It'd be cool if it happened, but I think that they're saving that for something else. I think he's going to be the accelerated man if they ever do anything with him. Like, I think that's who that is. I think that's the Earth. Well, actually, I guess maybe technically it doesn't exist anymore because the multiverse, or because there still might be a multiverse. I don't know.
There is a multiverse.
There is a multiverse, but also I don't know how long the show's going to go with pretending it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, they haven't really explained like what's going on with it. Like, it exists, but then it also doesn't exist with the Arrowverse. I think it's basically this thing where they're like, oh, as far as our shows are concerned, it's gone, but just because there are other things out there, we have to reference it. So I don't know. But anyway, I think like Accelerated Man would have been like the Earth 19 Hunter Zolomon. So if they ever do something with that, I think that could happen as well.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, cool. Moving on to the next topic. How do you think the original ending for The Flash season 6 was going to go?
Ooh, I don't know. I think potentially it could have done something where, I mean, I know that Joseph Carver has his alternate form in the comics. I think we could have seen a version of that, which I don't know if they necessarily would have done that, just because I think it would have been very similar to Bloodwork at the end of his arc. But yeah, I think there's going to be something with that. And again, I think this Godspeed thing, this Godspeed clone thing, because if you remember at the start of the first episode, they said Godspeed clones. It wasn't just one guy. It was
there was
multiple
loads.
clones. So I think that was maybe going to come up again. And again, it still might with Eobard Thawne. So I think it could have been one of those two things potentially. But definitely, I think we'll see Black Hole get sort of wrapped up, and we'll move on from here. Because obviously Joe needs to come out of witness protection. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, do you think he's going to come back this season?
Oh, yeah.
Because, you think by the time of, like, episode 19, which is...
Well, I don't know about that, just because obviously, again, that's obviously all been like cut off and it was an impromptu thing. But I think originally, yeah, Joe would have come back by the end of the season 100%. Like, maybe like the last episode.
But now, there is a chance that he will not show up again this season, right?
Yeah, now he might not show up until, yeah, like, season 7 premiere. Yeah.
Which is a shame, but... Well...
We were actually going to discuss that later on. That was one of the topics. How long do you think Joe will be gone for?
We're all jumping ahead.
We covered that now. Okay, yeah. So what do you think then?
Yeah. Well, I think the gist of him saying goodbye and stuff, like, when I was thinking this season's only 19 episodes now, I really don't think he's going to show back up. I think they probably plan to bring him back, like, the penultimate episode or something, just before the big showdown or whatever like that. Whatever, something to do like that, because he's linked to it. And once they've sort of cornered Black Hole, or whoever turns out to be the main villain, whether it's Eva or Black Hole, I think he probably would have come back like the second to last episode. So I don't think we're going to see him this season.
I think between Eva and Black Hole, I think it's gonna end up being Eva, because I don't really see any physical threat from Black Hole, if that makes sense. Like I get that they're an evil organization, but I don't know. I feel like Eva's more threatening than them.
Yeah, same. Like, I get that you like Black Hole and some people like Black Hole, like, Declan I'm talking to. But it just seems like they're pretty lame. I don't know. They just keep on getting these like shitty like villains of the week, try and kill people, and they always fail.
Exactly.
And I don't know. They just don't feel like a threat. I think Eva feels more like a threat.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly. But yeah. So you think that Eva will end up being the big bad instead of Black Hole?
I think so, but I don't think she's that good of a villain. Probably, from what I've seen, to be a good main villain. No, she'll only have a few episodes, basically.
Fair enough. Well, now
I think that's more likely.
Now that the season's cut short, do you think that they will wrap up? Because obviously we're not going to get the full story. Obviously, do you think it will wrap up at the start of next season?
There's a chance, but Grant said that episode 19, because they shot the whole of episode 20, right?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. They shot the whole thing, so they could edit that together and everything. But they chose episode 19 as the finale because apparently it ends it in a pretty decent way, more than what episode 20 would have done.
Okay. I found that very weird. I would have loved to have seen episode 20 because obviously that's more episodes, but okay, we'll see what.
But apparently 19 is like a better ending. Like it actually has an ending.
Okay, that means episode 19. By episode 19, the whole Eva storyline, Black Hole story will be wrapped up.
I think at least one of the stories will be. I think Black Hole's going to be sorted out by 19. I think maybe you might have some fall over with some of the storylines going into next season, like you were questioning before. I don't know if Eva's going to be defeated. I think the main villain may not be defeated, whoever it turns out to be, but I think Eva could still be around. They'll just wrap it up in like episode 1 or something.
Well, okay. We'll just have to see.
What about you, Declan?
I mean, I think that Black Hole it's quite a big, even though they haven't done loads and they haven't really presented themselves as the biggest threat right now, I think that, because I agree, I definitely think Eva's the big bad, 100%. Just because they're spending way more time on her than they are on Black Hole. But I think that Black Hole's got so much tying into it, because it even shows in this week's episode, obviously I won't talk about it too much because we'll get to it, but even it seems like Sue and her storyline with Ralph is tied into it a little bit. So I don't know, I think Black Hole is something that could carry on into next season if they had to, but I think if this 19th episode is wrapping up everything as well as it could, then sure. Also, Grant did say as well that it ends on a pretty big cliffhanger for next season as well, so I don't know. It's difficult to talk about. Like, it's difficult to question because we don't actually know where it's going to go. Like, we're also going to have to wait and see. Watch this space.
I agree. So, we just have to wait and see. Really, what like he said. But anyway, what do you think the new finale for this season will be?
I think it'll probably just be something along the lines of, and as Ben said, I think it could result in one of the villains being taken down, whether it is Black Hole or Eva. I reckon it will be Black Hole just because it seems like Eva seems like she wants to take down Black Hole as well, and Joseph Carver, she wants to take them down. So I think that we could see them getting taken down in episode 19, and then we could have a cliffhanger revolving around Eva, which will go into next season, and that will kind of be the finale. The only other thing I'm sort of thinking about and questioning is Iris. What's going to be happening with her? Because is she going to get out of the mirror by then, or is she just going to be trapped in there until next season now? Like, I don't know. So that could happen, but yeah, my prediction for the finale is that we will see maybe Eva get out of the mirror, either in that episode or before then, and then we'll see her maybe help Team Flash to take Carver down, and then she will. So she'll make herself appear as an ally initially, and then she'll turn, and then that might lead into next season, or they might just fob it off. Depends.
What about you, Ben?
I think that Declan's pretty much right with the Eva stuff. I think that she may. You said that she may continue, right?
Potentially, yeah.
I think potentially she could continue into next season because it seems like they're kind of getting close to wrapping up the Black Hole story, and Eva seems like she's kind of just beginning, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Same. I think it's Black Hole going to be taken down. I just don't see Eva being defeated at episode 19 because we've had so much focus on her, especially in the back half of the season. So it'll just be, yeah, I feel like she's more of a threat to for Flash to take down other than Black Hole. So yeah, I think the original idea was to have her be the big bad and that she was going to be taken down in episode 22. But I think that's probably going to be carried on into, well, it depends on how episode 19 finishes. If episode 19 finishes with Eva still about, then I feel like they have to finish it in the first half of season 7. Otherwise, it'll just be weird.
Well, they could just pull a Julian Albert and say he's gone.
Oh yeah, I guess so. like she went off to another country or something. I guess they can do that. Okay, so now let's talk about episode 16 of The Flash season 6. What did you think about this week's episode?
I thought it was a good return. I was just so excited to see the show back in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, oh, The Flash is on. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought Joe's stuff was really strong. What else did we have? We had all the Black Hole stuff. Like you said, Declan, earlier, I don't really like Carver that much. I think he's very much like a stereotype or something, you know.
He's a cartoon.
Yeah, he's like a cartoon. He's like, I'm in control. What are you gonna do, basically? I don't really like him. So his scenes I'm not so hot on. Trying to remember what happened with Barry. Barry tried to stop Joe. I just basically thought the Joe stuff was really good, and the stuff that went along with that with Barry and his actually used some CSI work to figure out who the villain was. I thought that was cool. Doe was pretty cool. So I liked the episode. It was a good return. It's not the best episode this season, but it was, definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Declan?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty great. I really enjoyed it. Like I say, it's been such a long time since we've had the Flash, so to have it back felt really good. I loved all the Joe stuff. Like, Joe is such a good character for me on the show, and I love Jesse in the role. So he got a lot of really good scenes in this, a lot of good work. And I kind of speculated when I was watching the episode, going, something's going to happen to Joe in this episode. Just they're giving him so much focus and so much development here, and like so much time. I was like, this just something's going to happen to him. Especially like I have to give credit to the writers because I genuinely felt, the scene where he is potentially going to die. Like I actually thought there was a chance where he actually could have died there. So that actually was a bit of tension. Loved having Ragdoll back. I always enjoy having Ragdoll. I think it's such a creepy, terrifying thing. Like it's just like the way that's not even CGI. Like that's just an actual dude just bending his body like that freaks me the hell out. And also I loved having Ralph and Sue back. Like Ralph's been gone for ages.
Yeah.
And he finally came back in this episode, and I loved all that stuff. Like I love Sue Dearborn. I think she's great. Like I love her personality. She seems really fun. She's a great match.
She kind of reminds me of Catwoman a little bit.
Yes, very much so. I got that as well. I just think she's great, and I'm really excited to see what they do with her because obviously, via the comics, they will ultimately end up together if they're sticking to that, which I'm sure they are.
Yep.
So I'm really happy with Sue, and I just loved having that storyline kind of continue. It was just fun. I just really liked them two a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought Sue was really good. Like, I've been enjoying her, and I was excited to see her back. I forgot about that bit of the story, but that was you think, Chris?
Yeah. So I honestly think that this was one of the best episodes this season so far. Not the best. I think it's still the first half of that Bloodwork finale. That's, in my opinion, the best episode this season so far. But yeah, this is one of the best. Probably in my top 5. Yeah, definitely in my top 5. I felt the tension, as you said, Declan, with Joe. I actually felt like, yeah, he probably could end up dying this episode. Obviously, there was more of a chance that he was going to survive because, yeah, it would have felt a little bit weird that he left this early on in the season. That's something that usually you would say for a finale, but yeah, they built up the tension in this episode. There was more urgency in this episode than previous episodes, in my opinion. And I felt like we moved the plot for the entire season forward a bit more in comparison to other episodes as well. So this was more than just a filler episode, in my opinion. And I think this is also my favorite appearance of Ragdoll as well.
Yeah.
How many times has he appeared now? Because he's
3, I think.
Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah.
To be honest, every time I see him, like him, I'm getting a bit tired because they keep on bringing back him and that ultraviolet person. It just seems like they're kind of running out. They're like, oh, which one of the week can we bring back? But I do agree, he's better than most villains of the week.
Yeah, he is. But I find him very creepy. Like, especially in his first appearance. Like, I could barely even look at him in his first appearance because he's just very creepy, very creepy.
I think it's great that they actually got a actual contortionist to play it rather than just having some random actor and doing CGI with it. Like, I really like the fact that they've got him, because the only thing, like, I saw like Grant talking about this thing on Instagram, like the only thing that's actually like added in for him is like the bone cracking effects.
Yeah.
Like, the sound
But
effects.
what about, like, I don't know, I like him when he's like out in the open, but then when like this episode he was like going in the pipes and stuff.
Yeah, that's
was, like,
obviously
weird
that's
CGI.
obviously CGI.
I mean, he can do a lot, but he can't get into pipes.
That bit I think takes away from his actual ability to do it, and I think he's best when he's like out in the open doing his weird stuff.
Yeah, I actually agree with that, to be honest. The CGI did kind of look weird when he was exiting from that pipe, but there you go. But yeah, overall, I would give this episode probably an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I had it an 8.
I'd say an 8 as well.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, I don't know if I should save this for next week or, you know what, let's do it this week. Where is Camilla? Because we haven't seen her since Mirror Iris shot her.
Where is she? And where is the normal version of Camilla?
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
the mirror version. What happened to Singh? Like, where is normal Singh?
Oh yeah,
Where is
Captain.
normal Singh?
Oh yeah, Captain Singh. Oh yeah, speaking of Captain Singh, I liked that twist at the end as well with Captain Singh.
That was a good twist.
Yeah, that was a good twist. So
It makes me sad because I really like Singh, and I don't want him to get into trouble.
I really like him.
I don't know what's going on with Camilla though. Like because we did see her. I think it was 2 episodes ago. Like the mirror version who was out in the world with Iris. We did see her. So, but yeah, we haven't seen. I don't think we've seen Mirror Camilla, have we? Like, oh, actually, the real Camilla inside of the mirror. It's really confusing.
No, we haven't.
I don't think we've seen her, have we?
Nope, we haven't.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
So
she just disappeared.
So is she actually dead? I don't think she's dead, but
I don't know.
I have heard some people predicting that she's going to die this season. Like, she'll be the death of this season.
Oh, I wouldn't be too bothered because I don't think she's that important.
Nah, she's not that important.
And she's like a fine character. She's sometimes a bit funny with Cisco, but then when she's doesn't do much for the story, basically similar to like Cecile at the moment, or like the past seasons you've had other characters who are like that. You know, it's not just those two, but recently it's been Villa and Cecile who have been kind of just there, you know.
I think that there is quite a big chance that she's going to die, because I think that her death is what will cause Cisco to leave, because I am pretty certain Cisco's going to leave this season.
So you think she's gonna die in episode 19?
No, I don't think Cisco's going to die, but I think he's going to leave, because I think with the addition of the actor who plays Chester P. Runk being upgraded to a series regular, and he kind of taking up Cisco's position a few episodes ago, I think they're kind of setting that up. And also with Camilla, the actress who plays Allegra, she's also been upgraded to a regular. So I think she could like fully take up that position. So I think there's a chance Camilla's going to die, and then that'll cause Cisco to leave.
Here's a fun fact about Allegra. Did you know that the actress who plays her, I think she's in her 30s, I think.
Really?
Yep, I searched it up the other day. She
And
doesn't look.
that's the same with Nora last season. How?
Yeah, she doesn't look 30 at all. Wait, hold on. Let me check it now. Hold on. How old is she? Kayla Compton.
That's kind of crazy, because it was like Jessica Parker Kennedy was obviously like the same age as like Grant Gustin and Candace.
She's older.
Yeah.
She's older.
Is it?
Looks so much younger.
Yep, definitely. But
Maybe that's down to her acting. She's
yeah,
very good. I love Nora. I miss Nora.
Oh, I literally just looked at her. I looked on her birthday. Her birthday is literally my birthday, the same birthday as me, 3rd of February. So she's exactly 7 years older than me. So she's 30 years old. The actress who plays Allegra. That's funny. Okay, anyway, what do you guys think about any of the topics that we discussed today? Who do you think the new host for the Reverse Flash is? And how do you think the Flash season 6 finale will end? Let me know down below in the comments. Thanks both of you for coming on. Hopefully we'll do this again at the same time next week. But yeah, if you like the video, give the video a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also subscribe to both the DC TV Show and DC Central. I'll leave the links in the description down below. And hopefully we'll see you again for more videos.